Um, Yesterday or the day before, or perhaps even the day before that, I don't always check my mail, so consequently, once a week I go down and look to see if there's any bill that I have to pay immediately before my electricity is shut off, which that's a list of things I have to do today. Anyway, I got this lovely actual piece of paper with actual lettering on it. And I will assume that the author doesn't mind me showing this to the public. I will hide her name. Dear Pure, I placed my order 6 years ago. Thank you for creating my Franken pen. I use it every chance I get. The body is mother of pearl. The nib is a Waterman's Ideal number 2. It's easy to use and feels great in my hand. I prefer to give some pressure, etc., etc. My other Franken pen is doing well. It's a Morton body with an ever-sharp nib. And I am ink-spiring. And you made a video of the creation of the Monster Morton. And the video is called Frankenpen Special Order. So I looked that up, and I didn't read the letter carefully enough. I guess I didn't see that I had made 2 Frankenpens for her. The Morton has an ever-sharp nib, and evidently there's another one I made for her that looks like this, perhaps, that has a Waterman number 2 nib in it. Now, why? I think I remember. Yes, I now remember why I had to create a Frankenpen using nibs that could have perfectly well existed in their original bodies. But if I remember correctly, and I may be wrong, but it seemed to me she, and I think, again, I'm just thinking this is true, that she, because of arthritis maybe, she needed a barrel that was fatter. So I found a big fat Morton pen, and I'm just trying to find the, for God's sake, I'm trying to find the video. So here is the authoress. This is the person that sent me the letter I just read, and she's posted this on her YouTube channel shortly after she got the pen. The Morton Franken pen with ever-sharp nib, created by pen master Per Gustafsson. So that was 6 years ago, and 191 views she got on this one. See how many I got in making the pen. Franken pen, what's it called? You made a video of this creation of the Monster Morton called Frankenpen Special Order. Frankenpen Special Order. 209 views. So here you will see me eventually. Yeah, here I'm measuring the barrel width, diameter. Now this, because again, she specifically asked for a very wide barrel, wider than normal, and this fit her hand, and it was kind of fun. I do enjoy creating a pen that makes you happy. When I first got the pen company that I now own, and I had lots and lots and lots and lots of parts, more parts than I have now. But if someone wanted a Skyline and they wanted this nib from this Skyline, and they wanted it to be blue, and they wanted it to have a gold fill cap, and they wanted it to have a certain kind of a derby. I had all those parts. I could essentially create a perfectly legitimate pen made up of perfectly legitimate parts by just swapping and adding and exchanging. If you wanted this pen, but you wanted that cap on it, I could easily just switch them. And I did it with 51s. I did it with Vacumatics. I mean, 51s, essentially, you're just exchanging a cap. You're not really doing anything else. But sometimes changing nibs is really hard, especially in a 51. But anyway, the point is, it's really fun to do whatever I can to make you like the pen you're getting all the better. And if you love this nib but don't like the color burgundy, I can switch it for you. Or I used to be able to do it easily. Now I don't really have, it's not as easy as it used to be. I don't have as many parts. God, this is a nice pen, this Skyline. I recently got some Skylines from the Philadelphia Pen Show, and I thought I got 4 of them, 4 or 5, I think, and I hadn't, I have Skylines, I've always loved them, but I didn't really pay much attention to them recently, and I just brought them out, filled up 2 or 3 of them, 3 or 4, 3 of them, filled up 3 of them, put them in my pocket, and wandered around with them. And just that reacquaintance, trying out a pen, doing a drawing with this one, writing a name with that one, and just testing out or re-experiencing, rediscovering their charms is great. I love them, and I know I love them, and I can say I love them and be truthful. But putting them in my pocket 3 days ago and actually writing with them again, it just re-cemented into my little tiny brain how great they are. And if I only bought one model of pen for the rest of my life, if I would go to a pen show and could only buy one model of pen, would it be the Skyline? I think it might. They are so sturdy, and so their nibs are really good. They're not all flexible, but there's a wide variety in their nibs and a wide enough variety in the model that I think I would be happy buying those. Just those. Oops, just those. Whereas I probably would be happy buying Waterman number 2 nibs as well. They sort of would be tied. Tied for consistent quality, ease of repair, confidence in me selling this to someone. Parker Vacumatics, Parker 51s, the Vacuumatic style. There's going to be a problem down the road with that one. The rubber will have to be replaced, and they're not easy to replace. It's easy to replace the sack in these pens. It is not easy to do it with a Vacuumatic style pen. So I have 2 people watching me. One is from Sweden, and one is from Czechoslovakia. Is that right, Atomic? Kim says he likes the look of the Skylines. I love them. I really like the look. It's like the dirigible. Oh, California, hardly close. Oh, okay. I think I remember. You're near Ventura. Is that right? Oh, okay. Denmark. I'm sorry. I'm Danish, Swedish, and Norwegian, so I sort of clump my genetic whatever it is, my genes, my DNA into one country. So have you met my friend Cedar yet? If not, you should send him a letter and figure out a way to maybe have lunch together and play with pens. He tells me that he's no longer interested in buying any new pens because he has all the pens he wants, which is true. He has a beautiful collection, 200 pens, 300 pens, I don't know how many, but and they all do what he wants them to do. But I have a feeling if he was at a pen show tomorrow, he'd find something to buy. God, this is a nice pen. I mean, the pen is nice itself. It's a 52V, meaning short. They often have ring tops on them like this. I do have one little tiny pet peeve regarding ring-topped pens. That rattle they make. It bothers me a little bit. God, this is a great pen. Well, that is a problem. There are many problems with pen shows if you don't want to buy. It could be because you don't have enough money. It could be that your taste is so sophisticated that you can't find anything. Otto Yang sort of tells me that he can go to a pen show and he'll be done in an hour. And because he's looking for such rarefied gems that he can walk by probably 90% of the tables at a pen show, knowing he will not find what he wants. That isn't always true, though. There might be something really, really nice. It might be in the wrong place. You have to look a little harder. Oh my God, that Waterman that I've wanted is in the box with all the Schaefer pens or something, or the tray with the Schaefer pens, and no wonder I didn't see it because it wasn't in the right place. So you do have to look a little bit harder than an hour's worth of looking. Now, if he only wants, and this is for anyone, if someone wants one particular pen, and they want it to be a Parker Snake pen in sterling, in perfect condition. Okay, you might not find one of those in 20 pen shows you go to, because those are usually ones that people want to keep. They don't have them on their display table. But not having enough money. If you go to a pen show, there's one guy that went to a pen show and I think he had his desire was to get a Waterman 20, which is a huge pen, relatively rare. At the time, they might have been $800, or this is 40 years ago or more. And that's what he wanted. And he came to the show with an Esterbrook. At the time, the Esterbrook was worth $5. Somehow he was able to, by the end of the show, without spending any money, somehow he got that 20. He somehow was able to make a trade with that one pen to a pen that was maybe a little bit more desirable. And then he found someone that wanted that pen and then got a pen that was a little more desirable. And he ended up with a 20. Now, you might think that that's impossible, and it sounds impossible, but I believe that it was true. And there is a guy that made a movie about his trading a paperclip for a house. And he did it in the same way, where he put on Craigslist, I think, the paperclip, and he wanted something that was maybe more desirable than the paperclip. And of course, the idea sounded charming for lots of people. Yeah, sure, I'll be part of this bait and switch trading game if you want. I'll trade you a Swingline stapler for the paperclip. And then he went and got something else and got something else. And one of the things he got was a lunchbox, a metal lunchbox that I had as a kid in the 60s. And he just happened, the lunchbox happened to be, he said, gee, I've never seen one of these. I wonder if this one is rare. Well, he went to a lunchbox show. Turns out that it was rare. And he traded it for something else. Some one other thing. I think there always was, he would leave with one thing. And maybe he got money. I don't think he did, though. I think they were all one things. And he eventually, one of the other things he got that was a snow globe. And he traded that he found there was some actor or director, movie director, that collected snow globes. And this happened to be a very rare snow globe. And he traded that for something in the movie business. You know, the guy would offered to do a scene in one of his upcoming movies, and that was the guy with the paperclip posted something saying, is someone interested in having their town be a setting for a Hollywood movie, and would you be willing to trade that for a house? And he ended up getting a house in the town where this movie was made. I think it's in Canada. Look it up. I probably got 9/10 of the factoids I just told you wrong, but it's a paperclip. Do the research. Paperclip for a house. And he took him a year or two, or maybe just a year, to move up from that to the house. Atomic asked if this was meant to have a lanyard or chain. These could go on a watch chain. It could go on a ribbon around your neck. These are often called ladies' pens because women in the 20s that were professional, they were nurses or school teachers, and they would wear these around their neck and on a little ribbon or a chain, and because their clothing at the time did not have pockets in them. So that was where that came from. God, this is a nice nib. This was in my collection. It was just one that I grabbed a bunch of these pens out of a drawer to just reacquaint myself with some of the nibs, and this nib is really lovely. The pen itself, I like the short size of it. It's really, and the nib is just so beautiful. It's 11:06. I'm still wearing my pajamas and robe here. I should probably put on some clothing and start my day. My 3/4 roommate had his 68th birthday last night, and we had a bottle of wine and a bottle of champagne, which was delightful. But I ended up sleeping later than normal. I could take off the ring, or I could take off the cap, but this is a little too short for me to hold correctly. And again, once the thing is on, if I'm not picking up and moving my hand around, it won't really, doesn't make a noise now. There is a Wahl Eversharp pen that has what's called a rollerball clip, and they also have that rattle, because often the clip or the rollerball on the clip is not pressed against the barrel, the cap, so it rattles a bit. The rollerball clip is one of those stupid things where it was meant to make it easier to put it in your pocket or something. So it has a little sphere, a little axle, and it's meant to go in your pocket easier. Well, the ball doesn't have a direction to it. It can make it easier for it to fall out of your pocket all the easier as well. So I didn't think of that. Now, if they had created an axle that had little barbs on it like this, and a little clicky thing here, where it could roll one way but not roll the other way, that would be functional, perhaps. There are a couple of interesting pen clips I have that keep the pen from falling out of your pocket, and one of them, I should bring him out here and show you one day, but here's the clip. Let's say here's the barrel, and there's this little spring-loaded brake that will keep, it goes this way, so here's the open end of your pocket is here, and you have to press this down to lift the brake up so you can pull the pen out of your pocket. So that was kind of cute. And it seems to me I have another one or two companies that tried to do that kind of a thing. It seems to me I've got two like that. Do you want me to try to find one right now? I know where it would be. It's not far from here. Let's just see if I can find it. Be right back. I can't tell if it's in here or not. It's not in here. Here's one where the lever is backwards. This is a match filler, the Jackson pen, and that's when matches used to look like this, wooden ones. So you'd open up, you'd rotate this until you found the hole. Oh no, this isn't a match filler. This has a post which sticks up out of the hole. But anyway, that's not it. Find a match filler in here. That's a Greishaber. Okay, somewhere there's a match filler. Where is it? Here it is. Here's a match filler. So you find the hole, you press this down, and it squeezes the sack. There's a pressure bar in there. And this is a match filler for non-smokers. It has the hole, but it also has the match attached to the cap. So it's a little spike that hits out of the top of the cap. Here's another one. A match filler for non-smokers. This is one of the weirdest. This is a relatively rare Parker. It is a, what did they call this? So you press down on that, push this forward, and then you press down and that squeezes the sack. Then you lift it up and pull it back and that snaps into place. And I forget what these are called, and that little line there, that's for your fingernail to press down. So you can push this forward. And you pull it back to lock it. Press down to unlock it. Were these called hatchet fillers? No, they're not hatchet fillers. There's some other kind of filler. This pen is an ink maker pen. Stop. Do not use before reading the instructions. So here this is ink, solid ink. That's the spare, I think. How does this work again? I forget, I have to read the instructions. I think there's one in there already, but you put this in water, a glass of water, you unscrew this, and then the water, it's like a straw. You put a straw in a glass of water, and the water will come up to the height of the water in the glass. So you do the same thing here. The water fills the pen, and then you lock this down, and this is airtight, and then the water dissolves the ink pellet, and you write with it and draw with it. Now, when it runs out of ink, they give you this extra thing, but I don't remember how. Oh, is that how? Aha, you undo here. I forget. Maybe you undo this first. Maybe that's where the air tightness comes in. I'll have to read the fucking directions. They have beautiful nibs, these pens. They always would crack right up there. Low. They came in 3 colors: black, blue, burgundy, and this color. And I think they were vaguely, this was sort of olive drab of the U.S. Army uniforms. I think maybe they were pitched for them. Okay, be right back. Well, take my word for it. There is a pen that I have that has a little brake system on its clip. Does anyone want to come on live for a little bit before I close my thing? I filled one of these up recently, and boy, does it write beautifully. All of my ink here is sort of watered down. It's either dirty water or very watered down ink. So that's why you can't see anything. See, what is this? Is this ink that doesn't open? I just bought 3 new bottles of ink, but they're not on this table. This is watered down ink too. Using watered down ink is fine for when I'm fixing pens, but it's not good when I'm trying to show you how well a nib works, is it? Do I have any ink here? Yeah, I know. You have to figure out a way to make that work, Kim. You can practice with your TV. The main thing is and it does take a while to figure out which way is up. And you have a phone, so that's going to be a little bit different than an iPad, but it does take some time to make it work. And maybe I can ask Cedar or Todd Merrill to tell me how they set up their things for this. That's funny. The thing was the one bottle of ink said to dilute with water, but it didn't say how much to dilute. I suppose if you opened the bottle and there was clearly some ink missing, like they sold you a half a bottle, you would presumably add the water to fill it up. But after that, and maybe you just do it the once, I can't imagine why they wouldn't just dilute it themselves at the factory, adding water to fill it up and putting the cap on. There are cleaning things, bleach and stuff like that will say pour 1 capful in a bucket and add water, fill the bucket, so you don't need a lot of bleach to clean up the mess of your murder that you just committed in the kitchen. Damn it, where's the bleach? I got a warning on my Facebook account saying that something I wrote went against community standards. And I looked at what I wrote, and this is what I wrote. And I think the discussion was around, it might have been a comment I made to someone else's discussion, and we were talking about passwords or trying to read sometimes when you see a password that you have to repeat, EIEIO 74110. Well, the capital O, and the 0, you don't have no idea which one is which. And is this a small l or a capital I or the number 1? And you only have 3 tries before you're locked out or whatever it is. And I said on my comment was, the person that made the 0 look like a capital O should be taken out and shot at dawn. And that was removed for hate speech or something. Like, for God's sake, read what I said. You know that even though I think maybe that is what that person deserves, I wouldn't do it. Hyperbole is dead, yes. But it is crazy. Why can't, I would think, a computer program that comes up with random passwords or things you have to copy, sometimes you can tell the difference between a 0 and an O, because when you see them both in the same password together, you can tell this is an O and this is a 0. And sometimes certain fonts and certain, capital I looks like this, a 1 looks like that, and a lowercase l looks like this. Sometimes the lowercase l does look like a 1, though, the way that some lowercase l's are made. But just don't have any of those. Don't have an O or a 1 or an L or a 0 in your password, random password that shows up. We have a laundry room in our building, and rather than putting a quarter in, which worked perfectly fine, these things work perfectly fine. They have now a card, like a credit card, and you have to add money to that card that is slipped into the machine. Well, every once in a while, I know that I have like $25 in the machine, $25.60 or something. I don't know what it is, but it wouldn't work. It would say, you don't have funds. So I have to come up to my house. I have to find the complaint phone number, and they're very nice at this particular place. And she said to me, eventually, she said, how much money is on your card? And I told her what the number was. It was a 2-digit number and a some numbers of cents. So let's say it was, and I'm not going to do the math right now, but let's say it was $32.40. Anyway, she told me that there's this bug in their system where if this 4-digit number is evenly divisible by 215, or if it was a 3-digit number, and if this number is evenly divisible by that number, it will not work. And this has been going on for 3 years. And I told the lady, and she said, I know the people that we hire to do this we've told them about the problem, but they haven't fixed it. They don't know how to fix it, or they can't fix it, or whatever. Like, how difficult is it to fix it? I said, okay, this is what you do. You have the machines now cost, rather than $250, have it be $251, or have it somehow work where you'll never get this number left, or the chances of doing this are very rare. So anyway, don't get me started. Yeah, putting a slash through a 0 is perfectly fine, except there might be people that are looking at a long number and they think, well, maybe this digit, I'm supposed to ignore this digit, he crossed it out. I don't know how they found out what the number was, but she said, and I wish I think it was like, it was a weird number that it was like 265 or 245. I think it ended in a 5. But it would only happen, I mean, it could only happen maybe only once, in the entire, we could only, the most amount of money we could have in our account was $59. We could only add 50. We couldn't make our total be more than $60 on our card. So whatever this number is, 5999, down to whatever this number is, you'd think it would only happen once or twice. But oh God, no, the O with the cross through it is a letter in Danish. That's a word, letter of the alphabet. So anyway, we're screwed. Just don't have ones or zeros. And this in mathematics is called an empty set, I think. There is no set, or this set does not have. Is that what it is, or null? What is that in math? It's a very weird bug, and they know what it is. So how difficult would it be to go into the computer and fix it? Yeah, again, it's just, I don't know if it still works, but there was a woman in my building who was screaming at them on the phone, and the lady was trying patiently to tell this woman how to fix it, which was essentially the woman at the factory or at the company added, at her end, they added a quarter to her amount or some amount of money to make it not do that. And my neighbor was having a hard time understanding what to do, because add this to put the card in the reader, press plus 25. Anyway, it was just very confusing to this woman, my neighbor. And I eventually took the phone from her. I said, Mickey, let me help you. I know what the problem was. Let me help you. So I took the phone from her and I talked to the nice lady on the phone. And I said, well, I'm here to help Mickey with her card. Meanwhile, Mickey is continuing to scream. I said, Mickey, please just shut up. Can I please talk to her? Just sit down and shut up. She sat down and she shut up, but and she thanked me for helping her out. But I couldn't deal with this issue. Anyway, blah blah blah. One island. Yeah. So anyway, I've got 5 people watching. 2 are participating in the conversation. The other 2 are who knows who they are. They could be the secret police waiting for me to make another comment about Donald Trump. We're screwed. I'll end it with that. Bye. Nice seeing you.